I'm Synergy, your beautiful host, and you've got Onidi, lovely, delectable Onidi, doubling as my co-host and the anchor, and welcoming you to Broad in Mind podcast, platform that's been created to discuss things uh, peculiar to our community. Um, Essentially, trying to help solve our community problems. We'll be discussing issues affecting us. Um, you know, it's. I mean, it's looking like things have really changed for us in our community per se. And when I say our community, the Black community. So this platform has been created to help tackle these problems. In fact, discuss essentially these problems, figure out a way to, get us going as people. There's too much decay, and it's looking like, we're at the bottom barrel of literally, everything. When I say everything, all communities and everything existing that's, keeping us going as human beings. So yeah, we've kind of come together to create this platform and make this happen. So moving forward, I'm going to allow the delectable co-host, and Nahan call to take the floor. Please welcome Onidi once again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. So, we'll start with some questions.
Mhm.
So,
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Hit me with it.
right. So, I'd like to ask if you could give your thoughts on transactional, what you believe the transactional relationship epidemic is, and why it has become so, you know, so normalized in today's society. What do you think?
Well, like this question, I've been asked this question before. My own take on it is it goes both ways. Both parties play pivotal roles.
Mm.
Uh, I keep saying it. What is the transaction for starters? Where is the transaction coming from? Who are the people involved in the transaction? Because, like I said before, when transaction is involved in anything, then it's a business.
Mm.
So if you want to encourage one party and discourage the other, you're not being fair. It's a transaction. Both parties are benefiting. You're paying for a service. So it's looking like the stereotype out there now is the ladies are on the better end of the stick, like they're the ones benefiting more. I'm differing on that. I think the guys too are also benefiting. And I always say this is the guys that are the enablers. If you're involving yourself in a transaction
Mm.
that you're not sure about, why then go for it? Understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You want a service to be done and you're already suspecting this person is going to bump you. Are you still going to go ahead? No, but if you go ahead, it's at your own peril, it's at your own risk. So why then come out to complain when you wanted something? You've called it a transaction. Do you understand? Because
Okay.
half the time, what we do is we think on the surface. Sorry, on the surface. Most times, let's think from within. Maybe then we'll begin to find solutions to problems. Because I believe I would not be caught in such because I already know what I'm getting myself into. I already know what I'm doing. It's always they make it sound like they don't know what they're doing.
Mm.
Do you understand? And if you're saying something is transactional, it involves two parties, not one party. So I'm going to be sitting on the fence in the sense that both parties, involved know what they're doing, and if one is not benefiting and the other is just complaining, then that's a problem between two people, and that's why I said it's peculiar with both parties. So moving forward, if anybody wants to complain about this transactional thing, I think they shouldn't stop being involved in it. Get yourself involved in the business if you're not sure about the business, because it looks like it's a business, it's a
Okay.
business thing going on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. I would like
yeah,
to ask a question. So you
yeah,
mentioned that, you believe that relationships are transactional, or that's what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You believe that they're transactional in a business sense,
yeah.
but I would like to make a point that relationships are like businesses
Okay.
in the sense of um, one, just the same way, relationships can make or break you.
Hmm.
So I would like to clarify, when you say relationships are like business, says, do you mean from a material, financial perspective, or do you mean just in general? So the transaction we're referring to here, is it
Yeah.
just material things, money, or as a business, or are you referring to relationships being transactional in terms of just being a business, or specifically material things?
Thanks very much for the question. For me personally, I don't believe in a transactional relationship. I think within the context of what we're talking about is what I've, kind of given my opinion before. Personally, I don't believe in it, but if I'm asked to give my opinion on it, I would say both parties involved should be, do you understand, should be, scrutinized. But I personally don't believe a relationship should be transactional. Relationship should be one that, you know, you're comfortable in. You want to give without expecting anything back. I believe a relationship thrives with you committing without necessarily wanting something back in return, because then you're doing it free willed. Do you get what I'm saying? I guess nowadays this whole thing has been turned around.
Mm,
It's a trend now. It's what everybody's doing. Is what everybody believes should be. But I don't think it should be that way, because it'll depend on how you want your relationship to go. If you start off, a relationship with somebody basing it on transactions, then it's always going to be a transactional relationship, even if you guys make it to marriage. And then when you've built your relationship in a certain way and is going in that, direction, and then you begin to complain, I wonder what you were thinking when
mm,
you were going in that direction. And after time, another thing I've noticed and realized is a lot of us adults don't want to be accountable anymore. You get yourself in a mess and then you start to point fingers. I say to people, when you're being hurt by somebody, I'm like, right, first off, you're an adult. You're responsible for your actions, knowing or not knowing. Now, if you take that in and understand that, you understand that when you get yourself in a situation, or when you get yourself in a place where you've allowed somebody that is not you, right, to then penetrate you, what I mean by penetrate you is affect you, then that's on you per se. I believe as human beings, we should be aware of what is happening around us. We should be wary of certain things that are not right. It is then our responsibility to allow things, you understand, that happen to us to happen to us. Now, when it then happens, rather than whinge about it, get yourself out of it for starters. The whinging gets you in deeper. Before you know it, you can't go on no more, and then you break down. So I believe there should be a rethink of how we see things, a rethink of how we reason things. Otherwise, we'll continue to push ourselves and continue to push a narrative that is not even making sense. Because when we think about a lot of things that will allow happen to us, we realize, hold on a minute, how did this start? Where did this come from?
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And most times, this is the reason why we find ourselves in situations we're not supposed to be in. So, my take, to summarize it, my take is I don't believe in transactional relationship. I don't believe you should go into a relationship wanting something back in return. I believe we should go into a relationship with an open mind, knowing the person where. Hence the reason why
Mm.
there has to be a getting to know stage. Sorry, getting to know you stage. So when you're entering a relationship, right?
Mm.
It is then with an open mind that this person I believe will do me right, rather than putting all these precautions. Because you're already starting a relationship based on, oh yeah, based on doubt. It's gonna mess me over. She's gonna mess me over. So what am I getting back in return? Hey, relax yourself. We're not animals here, man. We're human beings. We're supposed to know better and think better. So yeah, I just believe in my own opinion. Relationships, shouldn't be transactional. Should be with an open mind without wanting anything back in return.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What factors do you think are driving people to engage in more transactional relationships?
Well, I think the common factor, the one that's top in the list, is people not the lack of trust. People don't. I think people don't even trust themselves these days. Not to talk of trusting, the next person. Relationships should actually be based on that. And when I say trust, it should be blind trust. Listen, a lot of people might be like, "What is he talking about?" But you should go into relationship with an open mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want it to thrive. Now, if this person does you wrong, that's on them, not on you. Because in the long run, right, they've done you wrong. It's for you to remove yourself. I think where people make a lot of mistake is, or where people find it really difficult is when they've committed, they put a lot into something. You understand,
Mm.
and they're expecting something back in return. See, when you begin to want something back in return, is when your hopes, become shattered. And that's why I said, go into it. Yes, you might feel like it's a loss, but it would be easier to come out of it better than when you're expecting something back in return.
Mm.
I think the lack of trust is, I feel like, is a number one key problem, key factor, right?
Mm.
I also think trauma,
Okay.
previous and past experiences,
Okay.
people beginning to doubt themselves, thinking of a way to escape, you know. Um, and it's a very, very finical. It's very sensitive. It's a very gray area. This factor that that's causing this thing, and what has led to people uh, getting it wrong,
Mm.
especially in relationships. Um, it has to be one that we need to know what we're doing before going into anything, commitment. But on that note, I think lack of trust is number one thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Thank you. So, what do you think about the effects of social media, dating apps, how that has shifted our approach to relationships? Because, you know, we're in 2025 now, and more than ever, you know, everything is in our face.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just Valentine's Day a couple of days ago,
yeah,
actually a week ago, and you know, there's there's a tendency to see stuff online, and
absorb.
that's what your yardstick is, that's what your example is.
Yeah,
And so, for example, you'll see someone that got flown out um to the Maldives for Valentine's Day, and
yeah,
you're thinking, oh, my man didn't do that for me.
yeah,
It's more than ever in our face now with social media. So
yeah.
what do you think, or what effects do you think social media, dating apps, etc., are having on relationships?
Social media is there for what it's there for. It's there for what it's meant to be for. To give people real time experience.
Okay.
Do you
But do you
understand?
not think that people get carried away?
It's only right people get carried away because that's what it's made for. The problem is, I feel it's not being regulated properly. Now, I think social media has been built based on the way they want it to be built. Some people might be gaining from it, and you know, I guess it was built to improve technology, isn't it? To get us moving forward. I don't think social media was built to make things worse for humanity. People need to have that at the back of your mind. It's the way we consume it that's making it difficult.
Mm,
Are you getting what I'm saying? I just believe that if you throw something at somebody, especially a toy or a game, without the manual, they will go about it the best way they think they can go about it.
mm,
Everyone goes on social media to manipulate it for their own gain, right? Now, the people, like I said, that set these things, that created these things, had something at the back of their minds, isn't it? Now, I expect that the most constant thing, the most constant thing in life is change. You
yes.
know, you might have this motive behind you creating this thing. Now you've created it, it's become a monster. I feel like you having the key to it, you should be able to tweak it a little bit
Mm,
to help the users have a better experience. But like I said, you go on that platform, manipulate it for your own gain, isn't it? People go on there to do whatever they like. Remember, you have different people from different walks of life, people battling different problems, people battling different issues.
mm,
Everyone go on this same place to express ourselves. Now, you might find somebody on social media that's mentally disturbed. How would you know? But then what they're doing, right, is
mm,
creating a narrative that is uh, aesthetical. The aesthetics is
mm,
looking nice. Now, what I've realized is these social media platforms would promote that
mm,
because they're seeing people consume it the more. You understand what I'm saying?
mm,
My thing is, are these people that these creators,
mm,
the ones that have created the social media, are they helping to better it, or they're making it worse for us? Because I believe it
mm,
gets to a stage where you need to step in and
mm,
regulate things so it can be better experience for people. It can it can get people going in
mm,
the right direction, not
mm,
necessarily people getting going crazy and it's becoming like a pit being dog that a whole lot of people
mm,
are falling into. So I would think that this what's it called, the tech guru should figure it
mm,
out, have it
mm.
regulated.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Um, so I'd like to know what you think. Can societal pressure to get ahead financially or professionally lead to a diminished value of genuine human connections?
It's only right to want to be better, isn't it? It's only right to want to be successful. I
Mm,
guess the question is the quest for success. How much do you want it? Do you want it so bad that you don't care, stepping on,
mm,
anybody's, toes or heads to get to the top? Um, the quest for financial gain these days has really become something else. I always say everything in life has its pros and cons. There's nothing that doesn't have the good. Sorry, everything has the good and the bad. It's how much you want it. It's how much you want the bad compared to how much you want the good. Some people in this life, if you check it, it's like the new norm is been doing bad things, and everyone is celebrating it. So it's a divide. Back in the days, we're being raised to always do good. Good, we give you good back. These days, it's like do bad, you get more clout. You get to the top doing the bad things because people will get to see you. It's been encouraged. So I feel like when it comes to the quest to being successful, it's a crazy world. There's a divide in there. I don't think there's. It feels like it's what works for you. And on this platform, I want things to be quite balanced. I want people to be able to express themselves. I feel like it should be more of actions. For you to get to people, you want to act it, not say it. Do you get what I'm saying? So in this world, in this bubble we're in, where everybody keeps doing whatever they like, I think people should do what they feel is good for them. You understand? Because sometimes when you give advice, it might turn back on you,
Okay.
and you got to be very careful. But look,
Okay.
it's what the world is saying, man. The quest for success it's the new thing, and people don't care how they get it.
Thank you for that. What do you think are the most damaging effects of transactional relationships? So, on their well-being, their mental health. What do you think is the most damaging effects?
The traumas, isn't it? What? Because if it's benefiting you, you want to do it more, isn't it? If you think you're getting away with it, like I said, it feels like I don't really know about these transactional relationships because I don't encourage it. I don't really know how it works. But the thing is, if somebody's benefiting from it, do you understand? They want to do it more, isn't it? But I think the damaging and lasting, the damaging factor is the other party that's not necessarily benefiting, but who knows which party is benefiting? Because hence why I said it's complicated. Involving yourself in a transactional relationship where you're thinking, oh, I've not really gained. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the other party is claiming that, oh, you gained from me, and it's the reason why I did what I did. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think the damaging factor here is the trauma, because the long lasting effect is heartbreak, isn't it? And then you begin to become bitter. You're looking at life and you're thinking, hold on, why me? And then the sad part is a vicious cycle, isn't it? The person that's thinking that they're winning today, tomorrow might be the victim. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. I like I said from the beginning, I don't believe in transactional, relationships, because it never works out good in the end.
Would you say, right, that we are seeing a breakdown in long-term, meaningful partnerships, so romantic, as a result of this transactional dynamics? Would you say that?
Yes, I think people have lost their sense of direction. People think it's normal. Most times it feels like it's monetary, monetary values, where you believe, especially for the men. These times I'm gonna be on the on the men's side, because it feels like it's the man that's mostly subjected to to take charge, not just take charge, to be in full control of the financial, issues. Now, on the other hand, women will claim we want 50-50 in every other thing
Mm,
aside from the financial aspects of things
mm,
in this today's relationship, which is not supposed to be. Don't put a price on your relationship.
mm,
I don't understand why there has to be a price on a relationship.
mm,
It has to be two people coming together for a common gain.
mm,
Two people wanting to sink. Two people wanting, the best from each other.
mm,
So why do we have to have a value, a set value, you know, for or to be in a relationship? It gets very tricky for me. I really don't get it. And for people like me that don't believe in such, it's very difficult because then it's like you're not the normal person. You're not the one doing right. But I'm looking at it from the angle of it's not making sense to me.
mm,
They, I've seen a lot of relationships not work out because it's too much high expectation.
mm,
You're putting high standards where there shouldn't be any standard per se.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
mm,
So people are there, going crazy. They get lost. And to get yourself back on track, it's a bit too late. And then you have, people going into, you know, mental health homes, people getting depressed, mental health situations
mm,
is on a rise. There's a spike in it. You understand what I'm saying? So,
mm,
like I said, I'm not. I would have given better insight into it if
mm,
I'm on the support of it. I don't support it.
mm,
So I don't say how I'm going to be able to explain it for people to see good in it. Because there's nothing transactional, especially when uh, two people trying to sync.
mm,
That will be, that will be balanced. That will make sense. Because it's either you're gaining or you're losing, or you're coming together to understand that it is a game to complain.
mm. Okay. What steps do you think individuals can take to break free from transactional mindset in their relationship?
I think that was the question I answered from the first question. Just don't be in it. Man. Don't be a part of it. Relationships should be based on being open minded and wanting to commit for the betterment of both parties.
Mm,
When you set your standard from the beginning to be, listen, this is what I'm getting. That is
mm,
what you're getting. You would want to top it, and you get to a stage where you can't top it no more.
mm,
Whatever goes up,
mm.
you definitely have to come down. So
Yeah.
it would eventually break down because you've not set the right standards for the relationship. You
Mm,
just set the price for your relationship, rather than set a goal for your
mm,
relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm never going to be an advocate for transactional relationships. I'm never going to. I don't understand. I wouldn't be able to give you an insight into it because I don't understand it. I don't know it. You understand what I'm saying?
mm,
I just believe that a open-minded relationship is one that would work. I'm not saying it would work for everybody, but I guess it would work better than a transactional relationship.
mm,
So that's not what I'm saying. So I'd encourage, because the thing is, it's with the younger generation, is the new thing. They don't understand any better. It's what's involved with them. Is a trend with them. What have you got to offer me? What's
mm,
there on the table? And then you see, respectfully, I'm saying this. You see females subconsciously selling their bodies.
mm,
You know, I mean, you want a relationship most times to lead to full time commitment, aka marriage.
mm,
I expect every sane person who want their relationship to lead to some sort of commitment, full time commitment, be it
mm,
marriage, civil partnership, something that binds you. Yeah, put it that way. Do you understand? And then you end up just being single. And then
mm,
sad part is you then bring an innocent child
mm,
into this equation that's never going to be solved. And then this child is in a limbo, caught
mm,
in between two broken people
mm.
because you decided to go off of your journey the wrong way. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm,
So I mean, this is what this platform is for, anyways,
mm,
to shed a new light into the darkness of our lives. To get people seeing things from another spectrum, from another
mm,
angle.
mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
We're so used to the norm that is off, because half the time what we consume on social media is totally and absolutely off.
Mm,
But because I don't know what they call it, the algorithms,
mm.
it's taking you in that direction. That's where you've got to go.
Yeah.
And so I say the ball is in the court of the people in charge, the people that are, that have constructed these platforms to help regulate it properly. This is messing with people's minds. I'm trying my best to be sane in this crazy society, in this insane world. But there's some people and they're hell bent on wanting people to go off, to keep going off the rail. What gain they're getting from it, I just don't understand. Because when the percentage of people in the world, do you understand, is what, 70% crazy, and you got 30%. When is it? After a while, the 30% will go off being crazy. So what world are we going to be living in where we have almost everybody going mad?
Mm,
Do you understand what I'm saying? There has to be a place where we decide, look, something has to give.
mm,
We all have to have a reset and
mm,
start to, go in the supposed right direction. Because it looks like we're all going the same way, and trust me, we're going crazy. As much as you're even trying to be sane, sometimes you find yourself doing crazy stuff because you're surrounded with
mm,
crazy people. And you're thinking, hold on a minute, this is not me. It's a constant battle. That's the word. And then you find the younger ones going crazier.
mm,
And then who is in charge? Who is helping navigate these people in the right direction? And like you said in the question, the
mm,
social media is playing a pivotal role in the craziness of this world.
mm,
And something has to give. Some people need to step in. Otherwise, I say to people, only God knows what this world will be like in 10 years now. Because now
mm,
they want to begin to incorporate robots. So we're entering a new world of robotics. Now, these people that are creating the stuff, where's the preparation? You don't prepare us for anything. You just dump things on us. You just ask us to go ahead with life. How? How? We're confused because it's too much. It's too much for us. There's a whole lot out there for us to handle.
mm,
And then we're sat there trying to figure it all out. Whilst you're figuring this out, another one is dumped upon you. And then you're like, oh, what's this new one? That one there, you got to fix it. You've left it undone. You've moved on to the next one. Now you've realized, I can't do this one. You want to go back to that one. You can't anymore. So you're stuck. And then you're going bananas. You're going crazy in your head. Something has to give. People need to step in to help with us sanity as human beings. We're
mm,
all going crazy. We are going crazy. The world is turning crazy. And I don't know what is happening, because for a fact, some people are in charge. Some people are the ones regulating it. They need to do better, please.
mm,
If not for anything, for the sake of the new ones coming on board, the new generation. It's getting crazy. The
mm,
fear now is, what is this new generation going to be like when it's time for them to take charge as leaders? How have we prepared them? Do you understand what I'm saying?
mm,
So my take generally, let me, cut the long story short, you understand, is the new generation coming. I don't know how we have to have new, um, I like to use the word leaders, new people to steer them in the right direction, because
mm,
I really don't know, man. Some reset has to be found somewhere.
mm.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
And then, what would you say is your vision for a healthier and more balanced relationship dynamic in the society? and how can people play a part in achieving that
My vision.
for a healthier and more balanced relationship dynamic in the society?
Well, better regulations, like I said before. The people in charge should regulate it well. Put human beings first. Human beings are not toys. Human beings are not. We're not robots. Yeah, we get it, right? You want to start creating robots to battle human beings? Fair enough. But consider us as human beings that we are, lead us aright, you know, because like I'm worried. I'm wary. Fair and good. Not everybody we can't all have the same mindset. But the ones that are a bit ahead should be able to help the ones that are following or the ones that are that are lost to find their way. That's what I believe. That's the way I see things. Now, my vision for the nearest future is to have solid people, people with great mindsets, come together, put things together, make the world a better place. Representatives from different communities, different walk of life. Make it your thing, right? To want to do more for the less privileged. When I say less privileged, it's not for the people that what's it called? That don't think right. No, the people that don't have the privileges like the people at the top. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's find a balance because we confused. We don't know. We don't know. It's the coming together, the collaboration, people finding meaningful things in what they're doing. Like I said, we can't all have the same mindset, right? The ones that are in the better know should step in for the ones that are struggling to know. Otherwise, trust me, everybody would be affected. If you're thinking today is not your problem, tomorrow is going to be your problem. Because unfortunately, the sad thing is a member of your family might then become the problem. And then we'll see how you're going to take it, how it's going to affect you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I believe today we've had a great chat.
Oh, thank you. We've come to an end. Wow. It felt like you were grilling me though.
Yeah.
But look, having said that, I mean, I was gonna ask for your own opinion. Like I was
My
too.
own opinion.
Yeah.
I believe that transactional relationships are not a new thing.
Okay.
I believe
Do you believe in it?
so. Relationships are like a business. I do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are like a business, I believe that you have to, relationships can make or break you.
Absolutely.
You can be with someone and, the trajectory of your life changes
Yeah.
for the better
Yeah.
or for the worse.
Yeah. Mm.
You have a lot of women that are sectioned,
Mm.
like because we touched on mental health.
Mm.
You have, and equally men, but I believe because of the makeup of women,
Yeah.
it's a lot of the times, most times, this is a this is an opinion, but I believe it's backed by statistics.
Mm.
In a lot of the times when relationships break down, and especially when they don't end well, it always most likely affects the woman more than it affects the man.
Fair enough.
And what that can lead to is serious mental health issues.
Yeah.
So when I say mental health, I believe we all have mental health.
Yes. I agree. Yeah.
We all have
To an
mental health.
extent, yeah.
You know, mental health in this sense is the health of your mental
State.
state.
Yeah.
Just the way we have physical health, we also have mental health. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I believe that, because, especially when the relationship ended badly,
Yeah.
it can affect the woman.
Mm.
And you know, that's how a lot sometimes people get into depression. They, in extreme situations, they can be sectioned under the Mental Health Act,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah.
So going back to our
Just,
relationship transactional,
yeah.
just looking at our parents and how relationships were back in the days,
Yeah.
they were very much transactional.
Mm.
A lot of the times, the men were the providers,
Yeah.
and you know they that's what they brought to the table, and the
Yeah.
women were the homemakers.
Yeah.
Um, dare I say, men from a particular region
Yeah.
of the world,
Yeah.
um, when they want to approach a woman,
Yeah.
maybe they want to approach her romantically,
Yeah.
they tend to throw gifts at her, material things.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on that earlier. If
Yeah.
you're giving, someone something
Yeah.
and that's all they want from you, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be surprised, you
Absolutely.
know?
Yes.
And it becomes transactional in that sense
Yeah.
because they've led with that.
Mm-hmm.
They've set a precedent.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to, it's sort of like an expectation. And
Yes.
that's what's going to be expected throughout the relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe people can take a different approach.
Mhm.
Gifts are nice, and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
but let's say for example, some men don't even know how to talk to a woman if they meet them.
I think that's sorry to cut you there. I think that's where another problem starts
Yes.
because it has become the norm that I don't even have to communicate love
Yeah.
by my actions. I can communicate love by just throwing things at the
Yes.
lady. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Mm.
And this is what I'm saying about the narratives that has been tweaked, that has been changed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's looking like it's the right thing to do. Whereas it is devastating. It is, in fact, uncalled for.
Mm.
It leads to absolute destruct. Most times, self-destruct. But let me go back to let me allow you to continue. But before that, I need to stress this. We need to understand as humans that there's no right, there's no wrong,
Absolutely.
right? Your opinion is valid, and we're all opinionated to our opinions.
Mm.
So nobody should come and say, "Oh yeah, what you're saying is wrong." No, 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 no. Because in the beginning, your angle for this is for viewers, this is for the listeners. It might come across as what's she talking about because this topic is quite sensitive and everyone. I'm sitting on the fence. A
Mm.
lot of people listening that will be listening to this would not sit on the fence. They will take sides. So you would find the ones taking the sides of the beneficiaries, and there will be the ones that will take the sides of the people that are not gaining at all. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So the angle and the approach you've taken, I love it because then you're getting at a solid point for people to understand. It's like an enlightenment, isn't it? That look, when you're encouraging, these transactions, don't be surprised that you will
Absolutely.
continue to be like that. But look, I just
Absolutely.
needed to state that. I'll let you, continue. Sorry for
Yeah.
cutting you.
No, that's okay. So like I said, just getting back to the basics, some men don't know how to have a conversation.
Mm,
If you meet a lady, you can have a conversation and it doesn't have to revolve around money.
mm,
I mean, it's great. I mean, let's say, for example, you met a woman in a supermarket
mm,
and you can't even sustain a conversation, and
mm,
maybe you're just thinking that, okay, let me pay for your groceries, let me pay for these things are great. But like I said, can we hold a conversation about current affairs? Can
mm.
we hold a conversation about what's going on in the world?
Yeah,
Do you even
intellectual
know? Do you even
conversations.
know what's going on in the world
Hmm.
to start with?
Hmm.
And
So are you saying in essence, sorry, are you saying in essence that a lot of men have lost their core values? They've lost their sense of, you know, uh, 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 gestures, sense of humor to uh, to what's the word now, to I don't know if I'm allowed to use it, to romance ladies, have a
Yeah.
romantic conversation.
Mm.
They've lost that humor. Are you
Mm.
is that what you're
Yes.
implying per se?
Yes. Or yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I mean, again, to an extent, this is all generalization, but I
Hmm.
think it,
But
it
it feels like
starts,
yes, a lot of men, because I hear this almost all the time.
yeah, it
You
starts from
know.
the basics. Like I said, we have to take it back to the basics.
Hmm.
If you believe that whatever the a man or woman, you believe that you're in a transactional relationship,
Hmm.
think about the foundation, the root of that.
Hmm.
Where did that stem from?
Hmm.
Is it something that can be fixed, or is it are you long gone in that down that path?
But can I ask, right? Is it most times these people that get into transactional relationship, do they go in there with an intent, or is them trying to get the attention of the lady so they can get into a committed relationship with them? What do you think?
I think sometimes it's just to get the attention of the lady.
Hmm.
But like I said, I'm a believer of not starting something you cannot finish,
Hmm.
or you cannot continue, or you cannot sustain.
Hmm.
So if you start how you mean to continue.
Hmm.
So if you're starting with that, just know that this is how it's going to continue, and you can't complain down the line that this person wants me for money, or it's a gold digger,
Hmm.
gold digger. I mean, maybe another day when
Hmm.
time permits. I think we have to have a conversation of, in reality,
Yeah.
if women are actually gold diggers or not.
Hmm.
Because,
So this is
and
leading to another
yeah,
discussion.
yeah, but like
I
I said,
love
I just
this.
wanted to touch on it
Yeah.
because statistically, and I will get the facts,
Hmm.
I will get the figures,
Please, please.
because
Yeah.
I don't want to talk on hearsay,
Hmm.
because I do know this, there is statistics.
Hmm.
The statistics of women that are actually the one, to a large extent, sustaining the household is larger than people would like to admit,
Sustaining the household.
financially.
Why are you doing this? Why are you making the
No, no, no,
comments
no.
back?
Like I said,
Ah.
I when time
Mm.
permits, another time we
We are
can go into
definitely going
that.
to be discussing that.
So
Definitely. Because
the reason
I love
why
this. I
the
love this.
reason why I
Mm.
touched on that is because it's just around the idea of gold diggers, and women just want to gold dig. Women just
Mm.
want to gold dig. But again, going back to our topic of transactional relationships,
Yeah.
if you've led with throwing,
Yeah. Money.
throwing, throwing,
Yeah.
so is
Money
she
to
really the
stuff.
one digging for gold?
No.
So like I said, if you as a man or as a woman are in a relationship and you believe that the relationship is transactional,
Mm.
you need to think in retrospect and think, okay, how did we get here? What
Yeah.
led to that?
Yeah. How do we
And
fix it, or how do I
yeah,
leave it?
yeah,
Mm.
ultimately.
Mm.
And if it's something that it's really not sustainable for you, then
Yeah.
you'd have to think, okay, maybe this is not what I want. But yeah, you would have to, I think, in essence, it's going back to the basics, going back to the foundation, going back to the root cause of the issue.
Mm.
So yeah.
Beautiful. I love this. I love this. I love this. Beautiful, beautiful holiday. See, it's always good when you have, both sides of the,
Mm,
of the coin. I that was refreshing. That was really, really intriguing. It struck a chord
mm,
because then, for the viewers, for the listeners, uh, that the narrative of, like I said before, they are enablers. There are people enabling this things. If there ain't anybody sustaining it or enabling it, it will not be there. If you don't set out to want to keep throwing gifts, throwing money at a lady because you want their attention,
mm,
you understand? No lady will be expecting money to be thrown at them. You
mm.
understand? For no absolute reason. Because I hear bogus stories of, you meet a girl, you're asking for their account number. well, in the other side of
Yeah,
town,
yeah,
in the other side of the world, in Africa,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
understand? It's quite rampant there. You meet a
I
girl, you
alluded
want
to
to
that.
get,
Yeah.
yeah, you wanna get attention. You're like, yeah, you're right. What's up? What's your account number?
Mm,
And then the sad part is because you're encouraging it, then the lady follows suit. Like, yeah, that's my account number, and then you're bidding. You're getting into a bidding war. You're putting yourself in a choke, about to hold you, because that's what would happen eventually. Naturally, you're not spoken anything than money.
mm,
And when you speak
mm,
money, what is a universal language that everybody likes to
mm,
understand, even when they don't understand it, they will pretend like they do.
mm,
And then in the long run, who is benefiting,
mm.
who's losing? My take, in a roundup. I don't know if you have any more things to say in conclusion from your own end before I
Um,
finally wrap it all up.
like I said, I believe that relationships should be give and take.
Mm.
Um,
On both
in
ends, right?
yes, on both ends,
Right.
and in a case where it's transactional
Mm.
or is one-sided transactional,
Mm.
it has to be transactional because it's give and take. So
Your belief.
yeah,
Okay.
I believe that
Mm.
they are relationships are transactional in their
Mm.
nature. It's just that there has to be a balance,
Mm.
and
I like that approach. Yeah.
transactional does not have to be material things.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be material things. It doesn't have to be financial,
Mm.
but relationships in their nature can be transactional.
Mm.
But where the problem arises is when it's one-sided. The transaction is one-sided.
Yeah.
Um, in the
Mm.
sense of, one side is just getting the invoices
Mm.
and the other side is not contributing anything to the
Anything.
equation, to the
Mm.
relationship. It, it I'm assuming it will be exhausting for the
Mm.
person on the other
Yes.
end
Yes.
because it's just like a one-way thing.
Yes.
So again, it doesn't have to necessarily be financial,
Mm.
but it has to be worth it for
Yes.
both
Both
parties.
parties. Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, on D's. Pardon me. Everything that is, going on in my head right now is saying honesty, honesty. But look, in conclusion, you know, Onidi has given a beautiful, uh, uh, beautiful conclusion, and I I really really take a lot. I'm absorbing what you're saying because it very much resonates. I think the way you've simplified it, the way you said it, yeah, I think I'm beginning to not necessarily have a change of thought, but I'm seeing it from another angle,
Mm.
which makes sense to me. But in conclusion now, I would just want to leave everybody with this food for thought. Like we should ask ourselves this question: in a relationship, what are we doing exactly? The truth and the very very question that triggers everybody, and it should be a question we need to ask ourselves, not just the other party, is what are you bringing to the table?
Mhm.
Now, this question should not be directed to the ladies because it looks like that's the narrative now. Like, oh, it's a question. No, the men should also ask themselves, what am I bringing to the table? Having heard what you said,
Mm.
am I bringing the mentality of a donut? When I say a donut, an idiot to the table, because nobody is stupid. Now, as a guy, put yourself in the shoes where you find a lady too that is willing to keep throwing money at you. Are you
Mm.
not going to take it?
Of course.
Thank you very much. So I just want to leave this with our viewers or listeners out there. Food for thought. Genuinely, what are you bringing to the table? I totally, and I would say I concur. I agree with um, Onidi's opinion. It resonates with me so much.
Mm.
But like I said, I'm not a believer of transactional relationships, because it's very much complicated for me as
Mm.
as a person. I very much believe in being open-minded in a relationship. Anticipate, expect the worst, so that when it comes, you're able to take it.
Mm.
It's like preparing yourself for
Mm.
the worst. So it doesn't eat you so hard,
Mm.
because I feel like a relationship will come to an end,
Mm.
be it death or
Mm.
uncertainty.
Mm.
So I'll just say that people should know what they're doing,
Mm.
and like I said before, everyone should ask themselves these questions: what am I
Mm.
bringing to the table?
Mm.
So on that, I leave you guys in peace. I go by the name of Strategy, and we got delectable, intriguing, immaculate, and a D, and we're gonna call it a night. God bless you all. Please stay tuned and listen to our next episode. Broad in mind, we out.